Ladies and gentlemen, we spoke about this yesterday. Our system has the personality of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It works with top efficiency if you have money and influence. In fact, it will even allow you to get away with murder for a price if you have the money to pay for it. But God save you if you are a working class citizen. The system is so broken, it will do everything in its power to make your murder look like an accident. I wonder what Anish Avadhia and Ashwini Koshta's parents are going through as they see how the police, the politician, the Juvenile Justice Board, and even the doctors in Pune all conspire to deny their dead children justice. All this while, we have been talking about a NCP leader, an MLA, from the Ajay Taware's faction, going out on a limb to help the 17-year-old rich brat who drove his car over the two techies getting home from work. Now, in a fresh development, the dubious doctor of the Sassoon hospital, Ajay Taware, who swapped the teen's blood sample with someone else's, has admitted to receiving a call from a public representative, Reed Neta. Dr. Taware is saying that he will not keep quiet and will expose this top leader. But is this top leader Sunil Tingare, or is there a bigger fish orchestrating this cover-up in this bloody pool? A deeply embarrassed Maharashtra government is vowing stringent action. They are saying no cover-up will be allowed. Listen in to the Chief Minister.
इस केस में मैं पहले दिन से पुलिस कमिश्नर पुणे इनके संपर्क में था। मैंने पहले दिन से कहा है आरोपी जो भी कितना ही बड़ा हो उसको कोई भेदभाव नहीं होना चाहिए, गरीब हो या अमीर हो, कानून के दायरे में सब एक समान होते हैं और किसी को भी बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। कठोर कार्रवाई, कड़ी कार्रवाई करने की सूचना मैंने दी है। जितने भी लोग इसमें दोषी हैं उनको कड़ी कार्रवाई की जाएगी, उनका बैकग्राउंड भी चेक किया जाएगा और मैंने तो पुलिस कमिश्नर को कहा है इसमें डॉक्टर हो या कोई भी हो उसको बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
पुणे कार एक्सीडेंट मामले में रोज नए खुलासे हो रहे हैं। कभी समझ में आ रहा है कि ब्लड सैंपल को डॉक्टरों ने कूड़ेदान में फेंक दिया था, दूसरे किसी के ब्लड सैंपल को मैच करा दिया और कहा कि ये अल्कोहली नहीं थे। कभी कोई कह रहा है कि पुलिस स्टेशन में आरोपियों को पिज्जा बर्गर दिया गया खाने के लिए। पहले दिन से ही पुलिस की पूरी भूमिका संदिग्ध है। तो ये कौन लोग हैं? पुलिस पर किसका दबाव था? कोई राजनेता इसमें इन्वॉल्व है क्या? कोई बड़ा बिजनेसमैन इसमें इन्वॉल्व है क्या? इसकी पूरी जांच होनी चाहिए, सीबीआई जांच करनी चाहिए। राज्य सरकार पूरी तरह विफल हो चुकी है, गृह मंत्री पूरी तरह फेल हो चुके हैं।
Now, while the culprits continue to collude and conspire, a 3-member probe panel has been set up to investigate the alleged cover-up bid at the Sassoon hospital. The panel will probe the irregularities by the Sassoon hospital in the case. This as the teen's father and grandfather remain in 3-day police custody over the abduction of their driver. A quick chat with my guests this evening. I'm going to request them to keep their comments short. Krishna Hegde, spokesperson of the Shiva Sena, joining us on the broadcast. Shinde faction, might I add. Anand Paranjpe, spokesperson of the NCP, joining us on the broadcast as well. The Ajit Pawar faction, may I add. Chandrasekhar Jha, spokesperson of the Shiva Sena, UBT, and Clyde Crasto is spokesperson of the NCP. Sharad Pawar faction. Oh my God, this becomes confusing. But Clyde, I want to ask you, kaun bada neta hai ye? Dr. Taware is saying, if I go down, I'm not going down alone. Bada neta tha, I'm going to expose him. Is it Sunil Tingare or is it someone else much higher above him?
Well, Dr. Taware has to come out in the open and say it. And what I'm trying to tell you here is that he's trying to, blackmail whoever, or he's trying to give a threat to somebody. I mean, that's a different thing altogether. Now we have the law. The law is right there. I think the law should take its course and make him say who that leader is. Because here, see, I can fight with people from different political parties, but young people have lost their lives, families have been devastated, and Dr. Taware has gone out in the open that I know who the person is. I know who that person made that call. So I think it's the duty of the law to actually make him spell it out and bring it out in the open, whoever it may be. Because there are a lot of things, and you asked me to keep, everybody to keep it short, so I'm not going to try and tell you a lot of things that I wanted to say. But the fact is, right from the beginning, the time that, questions like, the Porsche did not have a license plate. What was the traffic department doing? If an underage man or a boy went into a pub, was he not checked about whether his identity or identification, how old he is? And excise departments go left, right and center checking everybody what was happening there. So these questions have to be raised. And whether an MLA called, did not call, now you have Dr. Taware saying that, I know who is, spell it out, he should be made to spell out. And this is the same doctor, I'll just try and be very short on this. This is the same doctor who was suspended in December, okay? There was a recommendation letter written by this MLA to the health minister. The health minister has brought them back again to the Sassoon hospital. So these are things that to be, looked into seriously. And I think now is the role of the chief minister, who has said that, we'll do a thorough investigation. I think he should bring all these people who recommended this doctor into the ambit of the investigation and give out the truth to the people of the state and the country.
Anand Paranjpe, are you even asking your MLA any questions? A, why he was dealing with a dubious doctor. B, why was he at the police station. C, why was he responsible for arranging pizzas and burgers for a drunk 17-year-old who had just murdered 2 people? कुछ सवाल पूछे गए हैं या नहीं पूछे गए हैं?
From day one, NCP party has been very clear on its stand that, and 2 innocent lives have lost their life. Mr. Sunil Tingre, our MLA, has clarified his position time and again that he did go to the police station, but he just said that let law take its own course. The Pune CP in his press conference has denied that any pizzas or burgers were served to the teenager who killed 2 innocent lives. And regarding your allegation that the recommendation letter were given, as an elected representative, many people approach MLAs and MPs for recommendation letter. That doesn't mean that the MLA or MP stands by the wrongdoings which they do. NCP is very clear that law should be strict and nobody should be shown any leniency as 2 innocent lives have been lost.
Mr. Paranjpe, those are very nice words and they are very good to hear on TV. But are you seriously telling me that your MLA walked into the police station in the middle of the night just to tell the police walas, let law take its own course? Mr. Paranjpe, who will believe you? Who will believe you when there is a sting operation with Times Network that confirms that the pizza and burger party took place? Even the police has accepted it and sacked the 2 people behind it. There is now evidence that shows that Dr. Taware and Mr. Tingle had a conversation over the phone after the accident took place. Who will believe you?
The police officers, but no pizza or burger was served to the teenager who is responsible for taking the lives of 2 innocent people.
नहीं, मैंने आपसे सवाल बड़ा सिंपल पूछा था, लेकिन आपने मुझे घुमा दिया मिस्टर परांजपे. Mr. Paranjpe, my question was simple. Who will believe it when you say that your MLA had gone to the police station in the middle of the night to tell the cops that let law take its own course? Law would have taken its own course only, na, without MLA Sahab landing up there. Did he really land up there to tell the police to do its job? No, that is not why he landed up there.
And who on record has stated that no pizzas or burgers were served there, and MLA Sunil Tingre met the officers on duty.
You know, I don't know. I don't know whether you've been keeping up with the news, Mr. Paranjpe, but you know, the fact is, and I'm just going to let other people come in as well into this entire conversation, but fact also is, sir, and Clyde, I wonder whether you'd want to respond to this as well. Look at what all your MLA is being accused of. Your MLA is being accused of making a call to Dr. Taware to ask him to switch the blood samples. Your MLA is being accused of, forget the pizza and the burger party, which just, by the way, happens because there's a sting operation that now establishes that it happens. But he's also being accused of asking the police to go slow on the boy. Do you know what time, after how many hours, his blood samples were taken? After 8
Madam,
hours. On
madam,
whose
two,
insistence?
two
Who's
police
making these
officers
calls?
who did
To
not do
Dr.
the
Taware, to
initial
the police.
investigation properly of the Yeroda police station were immediately suspended. The CP has taken a stern action.
Huh.
The doctors who replaced the blood samples have been arrested. Their investigation is going on. The case from the local police station has been transferred to the crime branch, and all those responsible for these
Chandrasekhar
actions,
Jha wants to say something.
as the action is being taken against
वो तो
all the
होगा ही ना, अब तो it will have to be taken. The system has shamed itself publicly. Up to action will have to be taken. Chandrasekhar Jha, would you want to come in here? You're spokesperson of the UBT faction.
See, today what is happening, Mr. Eknath Shinde made a statement, very clear statement, that from the day one he is being monitoring this case. So at this instance, if you see the investigation done by the state investigative agency, what they have done, they have manipulated the forensics, they have manipulated the postmortem reports, they have manipulated the whole investigation. And to do this, if certain kind of pressure is not built up upon the investigative agency, the such results cannot come out. From the day one, if Mr. Eknath Shinde, being the chief minister, is holding up the investigation under his arms, so what kind of investigation has been carried out? The question raises everywhere that whether the big netas are involved or not, and sitting completely shut from the day one, and after a week or so, 4 days, 5 days lapse, they are coming out and say that the investigation is currently going on and it is very fine and it is going good. These kind
Okay.
of statements would not absolve the liability of the netas and the investigative authority. They have completely been under
Okay.
pressure, and this kind of pressure is completely by a administrative machinery, and the whole machinery has been
Under
brought down.
whose pressure? Under whose
See,
pressure? Is it just
see,
Sunil Tingre or is it someone higher
no,
than him?
no,
That is a
it cannot be
question.
just,
There's
yes,
a
yes,
name of a
it
very,
cannot be.
very.
It cannot be
It
a single
cannot
net.
be Sunil Tingre
It can,
alone.
it cannot be a single alone. It can be a huge netas involved in this, because the Mr. Vishal Agarwal is a
We'll
very
know.
genuine, reputed businessman in Pune, and having a mass amount of money is to invest. And you can see how day to day the case is being diverted from one position to other position. So this kind of things can
इशारा
happen
किसकी
only
तरफ
when
है? कृष्णा हेगड़े, I think all of us know.
Yeah, it is. See,
कृष्णा
we should
हेगड़े,
not get into
इशारा
speculations
किसकी
that some
तरफ
big
है?
leader.
All of us know.
नहीं,
No, no.
no, there is no need to get into
अरे, I'm not
speculations
saying
about
it
a
now.
big.
Dr. Taware is saying it, sir.
No, let
Everything
Dr. Taware
started
give
as
the name, na.
speculation only in this
No,
story, and
have we told?
everything turned
No,
out to be true.
No. Has anyone, Shreya, has anyone stopped Dr. Taware from giving out the name? It is the case of Ulta Chor Kotwal Ko Date. Has anyone told him to take 3 lakh rupees? Has anyone told him to change the blood sample? Just because he's saying he was involved in a kidney racket also. So did someone tell him to get involved in a kidney racket? Did someone tell him to get
So
involved in a
what
drug
was
case?
Mr.
Did
Tingle?
someone tell him to get it?
No, what was
No.
your
See, it
MLA
is a
then?
case.
So what was your MLA doing, hanging out with Dr. Taware and writing recommendation letters for him and making calls to him right after the accident happens?
See,
क्या
like
कर रहे
Mr.
थे फिर ये
Paranjpe said,
MLA
there are a
साहब?
lot of people who approach us, MLAs or MPs, and they ask us for recommendation letters. At that time, we don't know that after 1 year there is going to be a mishap or a death on the road. We give the recommendation letter on good faith, looking at his background, seeing that he is a good doctor
Weak
and
defense.
possibly he needs a recommendation letter. After that, what he does, if he is involving in corrupt
नहीं, a
practices or
doctor.
malpractices, do you think we have to take the brunt for that because he had done something like this? Now, if this doctor has been involved in a drug
अरे
case or
भैया,
he's been involved in
MLA
other
साहब will have to take.
issues.
MLA Saab will have to take the responsibility because there was another incident at Sassoon Hospital about 2 months ago and he was suspended for it and yet he had not been removed. Why? Because of Sunil Tingle. My point is, Krishna Hegde, आपकी सरकार में चल के आ रहा है, आप जरा ये देख तो लीजिए. The entire system has become bikau.
No.
The entire system. Sunil Tingre is one part of the system. The entire system, it turns out, is bikau, na?
No, it is the Honorable Chief Minister who set the system right. It is the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, Devendra Fadnavis, went directly to the
This is how he set the system right.
And set the system right. Yes, of course they set the system right. Otherwise that youth was out on bail.
I will let
now
Clyde respond to it.
He's in a remand drone. The case is on. The blood
I
sample
will let Clyde respond to that.
The system has been set in order because of Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde ji. Why don't you say that? The system may have gone
save
wrong
us if this is how the system has been set in order.
No, and
Clyde, go ahead, I'll let you
why
respond.
is the father
I will not get
in
involved,
jail?
I'll let you
Is
respond.
the grandfather not in jail? All the culprits are in jail. That is how the system has been set into order.
After public outrage, I think to myself, if there was no footage, I think to myself, if there was no footage of that accident, whether this boy would still be behind bars and his family would still be behind bars. God save us, and God save us because of citizens in this country.
The whole country was aghast.
Because someone had the presence of mind to take a video.
No, it was the judge who was the board member who said that write a 300-word essay. Of course, that person who was the board member did absolutely wrong, and he should also be penalized. He should also not allowed to get scot-free for giving
he
such a
cannot be
bail.
penalized for it. But you have represented a wrong case before him. That is why
Clyde,
he has given such judgment. And don't try to
No.
adjudicate upon it.
No. He was aware of this boy's alcohol addiction. He was aware of this boy's alcohol addiction. Out of the 5 things the boy was supposed to do, he was supposed to seek counseling for his drinking habits.
Krishna, I'm not speaking at all. I've been silent. Shreya, please tell Krishna he's dreaming about me.
Not you, yaar. That your friend Jha
अब आप तीनों जरा चुप रहे. Clyde, I will give you 20 seconds. भैया रुक जाइए. 20 seconds I'm going to give you. Clyde, make your point. I'm going to wrap this debate.
No, very quickly, Shreya, I'll tell you first and foremost, I agree that we give recommendation letters and somebody goes and messes up after that, it's fine. But this Taware was given a recommendation letter after he was suspended to reinstate him. There was a case of kidney racket on him. After that, he was given a recommendation letter. And when you give a recommendation letter, all of us give recommendation letters after checking the antecedents of these people. So are you trying to say that the antecedents were not checked? That means the MLA who gave the letter knew exactly what was happening. The suspension order was there. Despite that, he gave this recommendation letter. That's what has happened. And what is the point in putting the system in order after 2 innocent lives are lost? You know, Taware has been talking about it. Taware should be made to spell out who the person is, however big that person may be. That's the whole point. You know, by saying that, we give letters to anybody, it's completely false. This letter was given despite knowing what this man Taware is all about. And there is definitely some kind of a bracket between Taware and this MLA who's been writing letters for them, going to the police station. And I think if the Chief Minister has ordered a probe into it, he should bring everybody in the ambit of this whole thing. I mean, Juvenile Justice Board, people have been saying we know legalities. On a non-working day, a single member gives this person a bail when a 2-member board has to be there. What is the point in doing all this after everything has happened? My point is very simple. Taware has to be made to spell out, and this MLA also, whose name is cropping up continuously, has to be brought into the ambit of the investigation, and even he needs to be made to spell out whether he did it on his own or any other big leader above him has asked him to speak about this.
Okay. I just want to tell our viewers, in case you're wondering whether we approached Sunil Tingle, the MLA in question here, we did approach him. We requested him to speak to us, give his side of the story. He hasn't got back to us. So that is where the story stands. And Mr. Hegde, thank you very much for joining us. You put up a brave defense, but the fact is, जनता है सब जानती है. All of us can put two and
No,
two
no,
together
heart goes
and
out to
see
the two
what
people
exactly
who lost
happened
their
in Pune.
lives.
What
But
happened
these
in
people are
Pune?
talking as though they
What
are
happened
holier
in
than thou
Pune
here.
is something that shows us that the system is entirely broken. Chaliye, we'll leave it there for the moment. Krishna Aigre, thank you very much. Anand Pranjpay, thank you very much. Chandrasekhar Jha, thank you. And Clyde, thank you very much for joining us.